Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 24 hours, maybe slightly more than that, no, but yeah, because this report slightly later than usual, so no, maybe more, a bit more than 24 hours, but 24 hours. So I did turn off the black box. We're going to start off with the Sumy front update. Over at Yunakivka, according to the Ukrainian mapping, Deep State UA have mapped that the Russian forces have conquered the northern half of Yunakivka and everything, of the entire highway over at Yunakivka, the Russian forces capturing all of these places, go down to both sides of the Loknia River and capturing all of this area here. Ukrainian forces hold the southern half of Yunakivka, so this advance is around, on average, maybe around 1 kilometers, so 1 kilometers deep from the previous front line. So that is a pretty significant update for the battle for Yunakivka. So the next frontline change is over in the Dvorichna front. So this is the Sumy, this is the Sumy front. The next frontline update is over at Dvorichna. So this is Dvorichna, and at Kindrashevka, which is south of Dvorichna, there is a geolocation of Russian forces advancing down from their previous geolocated position, which is quite some days ago, and which probably seen them penetrating through the forest, attacking the Ukrainians from another position. So this advance like this. These are conservative mapping because I cannot really be a bit more bullish about it. It's really hard to tell where the Ukrainians are holding the position. I would imagine them holding the positions like this, maybe some rounds in the forest. So it is a penetration in this way. So you can see probably the Russians penetrate through the forest and end up at this building, trying to flank the Ukrainian forces. Perhaps they are over here very successfully defending against the Russians. So that is a possibility. So, but of course I map it in a simpler way like this. So we shall see how this continue to develop in Kindrashevka. Is important to note. Yeah, Kindrashevka is already announced captured since the 30th of May by the Russian Defense Ministry, which is quite some day ago. Is 3 weeks ago. So the Russians definitely still do not have the corroboration, don't have any kind of corroboration to their claim. So the next frontline change is no good news for the Ukrainians over in the Lyman front. So this is Lyman, and over in the north of Torske, just off Dvorichna, Ukrainian forces, after able to retake part of the northern part of Torske, successfully take more parts of the north of Torske. So they have managed to be geolocated at this tree line, confirming that the Ukrainian forces have attacked and retake the tree line that is protecting the Torske in this sector. Of course, a lot more to go. This is just a small one. The advance is probably around 200-300 meters. So that's the frontline change over at Torske. The next frontline change, we jump pretty far away to the New York front. So this is Niu-York, Pokrovsk, and we're going to Alexandro Kalinove. So I can see the middle finger here. No, this is no offense. No. Yeah. Anyway, the Ukrainian mapping, Deep State UA have updated this salient here southwest of Alexandro Kalinove, where the Russian forces have continued to secure these tree lines in this sector here. I expect resistance, but not very heavy resistance from the Ukrainians right now. Maybe they're having the next line of defense around here, and then the Russians are now just slowly pushing up. I don't think the resistance is going to be very strong. Probably very small squads just trying to slow down the Russians' advance. So this, you can see that the Russians are already in Alexandro Kalinove. So going too far away is a bit dangerous. Like they are from the town. Like to the tree line is already almost 2 kilometers. It will be a bit risky, to travel, in the open like this. So the advance here is around 600-700 meters. So that's the main thing here. Over in the north of Novoalenivka, the Ukrainian mapping, their latest mapping, just dropped a few hours or 1-2 hours ago as per this recording. has which is why I say it may not be 24 hours, but yeah, this entire sector here, this entire salient north of Novo Olenivka is now fallen to the Russian forces. So, but of course, this arrow is a bit deceiving if I draw it like this, because there's only a few trees here. So the Russian forces probably advanced down these few tree lines. They captured around this this cliffy place, and then they'll capture the tree line. They probably also go down the highway like this, and yeah, so this is probably what happened, and they managed to straighten the front line in this sector. So that is the main gist of the action in this north of Novo Olenivka. The advance is probably on average around 1.5 to 2 kilometers. So on average, it's around there. So so this is a pretty big chunk of territory captured by the Russian forces, but it's mostly open ground. The next front line change, we go to the next front line at Pokrovsk front. So Pokrovsk is over here, Minohrad, and the front line change is in this sector. As you can see, this is all a cluster of front line changes. Over in Shevchenko-Pershey, the Ukrainian mapping have updated the mapping to show that they have entirely lost Shevchenko-Pershey to the Russian forces. So so we have confirmed the Russians have captured Shevchenko-Pershey. Due to this information, Russian forces overrun the Shevchenko-Pershey position, going down the gully or the ravine and down the tree line, and now they are facing off the Ukrainians at Kotiv. However, Kotiv is already announced captured by the Russians just a week ago. So and the previous Russian announcement of Shevchenko-Pershey was 29th of May. So that's coming to almost a month. You're talking about 3 weeks ago. So this map update is very, very belated. So we shall see how this developed, as the Ukrainians probably find it really hard to hide this information moving forward, because the Russians already is fighting at Dvorichna, as per reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So the capture continue to attack. So if the Ukrainians continue to ignore this frontline change, this is going to look really awkward with the Russian forces suddenly geolocated in Dvorichna. So I think this is unavoidable for the Ukrainians to update the map and to tell to really accept that they might have lost that position. So the next frontline change is over at south of this position in the north of Yelizaveta and south of Melanivka. So in this sector here, Russian forces have captured all of these areas south of Melanivka. I'm not entirely sure if I should call this capture, or the Ukrainians considered that they actually lost this position, because this is, of course, like I say, this is a bit difficult to resupply. Like imagine you have your position here and someone have to risk their life to give you food. Of course they can fly a drone there, but yeah, I'll rotate you. That would be such a huge challenge. So this entire area here is now under taken by the Russian forces. They captured this facility, this probably a granary, and the Russian forces go down the gully and then go up the tree lines. There's a potential fortification here also overcome, and they went down another tree line. However, this is firm control under the Ukrainian mapping, which means that my gut feeling is that the Russians actually captured more than this. Most likely they have captured all of this area here. Yeah, probably up to this point, probably like this. I think the reality may actually look more like this, with the Russian forces already overcome all of these areas here. This is more likely to be the case, or more reality based, and the gray zone might actually be here. So because if not, then the Russians could potentially pincer and encircle everything in the rear position. So anyway, whatever this is now looking like a finger. Yeah, this looks. I mean, it looks like a finger to me. I'm not sure what it looks like to you, but dirty fella. Anyway, happy birthday to you if your birthday today. And so we shall see. I believe I'm expecting the entire collapse of this front line south of Melanivka. This piece alone is already 5 square kilometers. It is quite a big amount of grounds lost. So it is what it is. This is a bit hard to measure. Maybe around 1.2 to 2 kilometers deep of advance in this south of Melanivka. So we move on. The next front line change, which is also the last one, which is over at the Komar front. So this is Komar, and in this Odradne, or southeast of Zaporizhia, this is Odradne. So the Ukrainian mapping have updated their map to show that the Russian forces have actually expanded their zone of control in the northwest of Odradne, with Russian forces taking off these areas here. And this looks very similar to just now the mapping over in the north of Yelizavetivka. So now again, Ukrainian forces now created this weird salient here. It looks really weird to me. Like, why would you even send forces to be here? This looks a bit weird. You know, it looks very suggestive that they will be crushed or encircled. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. So anyway, so basically, I don't expect this to be a reality. I think the Russian mapping here makes a lot more sense. But anyway, that's what it is. This change here is around 1 kilometer on average. So that's it. So this is all the frontline changes in the past 24 hours. So we're going to do some mathematics. Let's use this as the background, I guess. So where's the calculator? So the Ukrainian forces captured 0.13 over in the Lyman front. So that's a small consolation. However, the Russian forces captured a lot more. 2.9 plus 0.1 plus 6.92 plus 8.58 plus 4.3. So we are back at the 20 square kilometers range with the Russian forces capturing 22.8 square kilometers over the past 24 hours. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.